You're listening to New England Real Estate Journal Radio with Rick Kaplan, New England source for commercial real estate news. This is New England Real Estate Journal Radio on the Money Matters Radio Network and online at moneymattersboston.com.
Welcome to the New England Real Estate Journal Radio Show. I'm Rick Kaplan with Eric Wilson, and we're here in beautiful Newbury Street with the PLBoston, Boston's premier luxury real estate team, with Susan Parasini, hello, Lauren Larson,
hello,
and Jenna Spang, all part of the team. Today's show brought to you by the New England Real Estate Journal, bringing together the commercial real estate industry for over 50 years. Find us at NEREJ.com. If you'd like to be a guest or sponsor for the show, call 800-654-4993 or email us at radio@nerej.com. Again, that's 800-654-4993 or email us at radio@nerej.com. And today we're going to be talking a little bit about the high-end residential real estate in the Boston area.
That's correct.
And Susan and Lauren and Jenna are going to tell us a little bit about what is going on in the marketplace here. Correct?
First, why don't you tell us?
Right.
Tell us what is the PLBoston team and how you guys came to be.
And you can do that too.
Okay.
We'll start with it. We'll do past, present, and then we'll talk about your future. How's that sound?
Oh, that sounds
good.
nice.
All
Okay,
right.
so PLBoston was formed about a year ago. PL stands for Parasini Larson. Boston stands for, obviously, the location that we mostly work within. And Jenna Spang is also a part of our team, an integral part of our team. And between the three of us, we cover every element of the real estate transaction for our clients.
Fantastic. And so, is the P and the PL, it's also premier in luxury.
You know,
So you
it's
guys
funny you should say that. That is interchangeable.
Yeah,
And
you
it
guys.
was going to stand
I was
for
going to
that.
say you guys did.
I like
come
how
up
you
with
put that in there.
You guys
Yeah.
were like, oh, let's just dual logo. I
Correct.
like it.
Yes, so there's so much going on in the city of Boston.
Yes.
And there's a lot of high-end properties that are
Yes.
out there. So where do you come in when there's this transaction for these large or these high-end properties that are on the market?
First of all, I just want to back up for a little bit and say that this office that we're in is on the corner of Newbury Street and Hereford, and so right in the Back Bay. The office is RE/MAX Leading Edge, but it's not, yesterday's RE/MAX. Now, we work with the Collections Division, which is the luxury division of RE/MAX.
The collection division. Now, when you say collection division, what, collection of properties or collection of
Collections
of
is
money?
the name of a division of RE/MAX that is the luxury, high-end luxury brand. So we sell only high-end property. All of the collateral and all of the marketing materials, are not your typical red, white, and blue RE/MAX. They're all very upscale marketing pieces. Mm-hmm. Maybe you could elaborate on that.
Yeah, it's a different brand than the typical red, white, and blue RE/MAX. It's a new kind of metamorphosis for RE/MAX in this area of Boston. There was not a RE/MAX collections office in the Back Bay ever. I don't think.
No.
I think we're the first one. So it's really exciting to be here and get in on the ground floor and kind of help with the marketing and help establish the brand in the area. And we've taken off here. It's a great location.
We really have. It's a nice hybrid between, there are a lot of little boutique firms here in Boston that service all of the areas. Mm-hmm. But, our collections division has the power of RE/MAX behind it. So it's obviously a global branding being brought
It's
to
a totally different ballgame.
So what made you choose Newbury Street as your office?
Well, it's just a great location. The walkability factor is great. People walk in all the time and want to talk to you about real estate, what's going on, what's trending in the market. It's a beautiful spot to meet clients. A lot of our clients are looking for property here in the Back Bay. You can walk to, pretty much any of the listings. Quick walk down the street to some of the other neighborhoods. So it's right in the heart of the city, and it's a great spot.
What would be a reason why someone would want to choose a team over just an individual representative?
The reason that a client usually would choose a team over an individual agent is threefold. Number one, they obviously get the power of three people instead of one. Mm-hmm. We all have different strengths. We bring different skill sets to the transaction. So, they get that benefit as well. And then it's 7 days a week. I mean, even though we are real estate agents, we have lives as well. I know you find that hard to
Get out
believe.
of
I
here.
We
swear.
never knew that.
There's absolutely no chance.
There is usually a chance that one of us might, Jenna, as a matter of fact, has to attend a wedding this weekend. So,
Hey, it's funny. I do too.
Sweet, couple dancers out here.
Right. So we have
We
$9
are
million worth of listings to service this week. And so Jenna's not there, so Lauren and I are there to pick up the slack and make sure that all of our clients are fully represented 7 days a week.
Well, we want to go into more detail, but we don't want to give away too much right now because we want the other half of the show. We want to talk a little bit more about some of the transactions that you have, some of the new properties that are on the market, and some of the things that might be coming to the marketplace.
Okay.
But right now, I just want to ask Eric.
Oh, me, nice. I'm back in.
Yeah, what I haven't even asked you what's up with you because
I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
clear. Blood is clean. Everything's good. No parasites. No. bacteria.
Eric had Lyme disease.
I told everybody last week. On my
we know
my
he had
radio
Lyme
show.
disease. That's why he's sitting over there with you and not
I
us.
read it.
Yeah, but I went to.
Oh, I didn't know it was
Everything's
contagious.
good.
Otherwise, I'd be sitting over there.
No, it isn't contagious.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
only joking.
I mean, it is through like blood transfusions and stuff like that, but I wasn't giving that out. So yeah,
And it was 90 proof
but everything
anyways.
worked out. Yeah, so I haven't had a beer in a month, so I've also kind of like detoxed myself, which has been awful. But everything will be good. Labor Day was awesome, and
So now you're
football
back to
starts.
playing frisbee golf.
Well, I played the whole time still. I mean, it wasn't recommended, but I don't do a lot of things that are recommended. So yeah, I kept playing disc golf, and now I'm free. I don't have to worry about it at this moment.
And
Not
if
to
there-
say I couldn't get it
and
again.
if there's any big lots of land in the area,
always.
Eric wants to put a disc golf course out here.
They just put one over in one of the hospitals over in Watertown.
Nice.
They just built one right inside.
Well,
the,
that works out
on their
perfect for you.
campus. Yeah, just in case you get in line, you just walk right in, right? You're like, hey, it's got Bick. You guys check this out. Thanks. I'm going back to hole 6. Meet me there. No, yeah, that'd be cool. But they just built one there too, so they're always looking. I mean, I guess we've built. Well, not we. I haven't really done anything other than play them, but they built like 50 in the last 2 years.
It's a growing sport.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's
Any of
cool
those
for
developers
families,
putting
young
up
kids.
these big complexes,
Yeah.
they should add instead of a golf course, they should add
Well, right. Well,
a
if
disc
you
course.
look at that's why it's become so big is what have we lost like a 6% decrease in golf courses over the last 10 years, and we've had like a 400% increase in disc golf courses. It's smaller land, more people can play. It's easier. It's less expensive. There's no private clubs. Most of the courses are free. They're on public parks, so that's why. There's your answers.
Well,
Sounds good.
PLBoston, our luxury real estate team, we support disc golf.
I appreciate
Yeah,
it. We know you guys do.
Maybe you're looking for a sponsor.
Always. There's always that'd
Yeah.
be cool.
Well,
But we also have the big show coming up at the end
Yeah,
of this month.
September
I know that you
25th.
want to talk about that.
yes, September 25th at the Hilton Providence, New England Real Estate Journal is having another Cocktails and Conversation. So if you haven't signed up, go to either call 800-654-4993 or email radio@nerej.com, and we can give you the information, send you the link to register.
Were we invited to that?
Yes,
Yes,
Everyone's
definitely. Everyone's
Okay.
invited. You get to hang out with us.
That's
and,
right.
We'll do the radio show. We'll probably do like an hour of it there.
And I'll-
There'll be live videos.
I'll
for
even get our
anybody that gets
tagline
coming.
right, I'm sure.
You will. You'll
By
work.
then-
By that time, you'll figure out how to do this radio thing. Yeah, it should be a really good event. We've had some really good success in New Hampshire and in Boston in previous events, so we expect
Yeah, I
the
think
same.
Jenna and I went to one in Quincy. That was a fun time.
Yeah, that was our first one. You guys were at
Oh,
our
that was a
first
great
one ever.
one.
Yeah.
But they've gotten a lot bigger
We got
and a lot better.
Rick's really taken to this event planning thing. He's done really well. So
Oh, good.
Thank you, Eric.
you got it,
Well,
man.
listen, I'm glad that was on air.
It was. It was on air. Most of the time,
Proof.
That he does say some nice things about me.
I say nice things about everybody on air.
Well, we have to go to a break. But today's
Fantastic.
show is brought to you by the New England Real Estate Journal, bringing together the commercial real estate industry for over 50 years. If you'd like to be a guest or sponsor for the show, call 800-654-4993 or email radio@nerej.com. Again, that's 800-654-4993 or email radio@nerej.com, and we'll be... I meant radio@nerej.com, and we'll be right back on Money Matters Radio Network.
The next level in commercial real estate. This is New England Real Estate Radio on the Money Matters Radio Network and online at moneymattersboston.com. Rick Kaplan on the Money Matters Radio Network and online at moneymattersboston.com.
And we're back on New England Real Estate Journal Radio. I'm Rick Kaplan with Eric Wilson. And we're here at PLBoston, at Boston's premier luxury real estate team, with Susan Pericini, Lauren Larson, and Jenna Spang. And we're talking a little bit about the high-end residential real estate in the Boston area. And PLBoston, I guess that's what you do here.
Can we
The
classify what high-end means? I mean, most people, you just say high-end, like, what does that mean? 250 plus, 5 plus, 1 million plus, 5 million plus, 20
Well, it all
million
kind of
plus?
depends on the market that you're in. So, for instance, if we were in Springfield, Massachusetts, 250 would be considered luxury, I'm sure. You know,
Not a shot on Springfield. You're just not near any cities. We get you.
Here
You know what
it's
I'm
about
saying.
$1
Yeah,
million.
here it's the
million-
benchmark for luxury is
$1
about $1
million.
million.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Nice.
No, obviously the waterfront property in this area is going to command more money. What about the property like at Newbury Street, right where we are sitting today?
The price per square foot on Newbury Street is very, very high and comparable with waterfront property.
I would assume with the foot traffic.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And just the cachet of the address. It's kind of like the Rodeo Drive of our area.
And I don't
So-
think water property is specific just to Boston. As you know,
I mean, when you're talking about waterfront property in
Right.
the Back Bay, you're talking about a backside view off Beacon Street. So a lot of the properties on Marlborough are going to be more expensive than even those water view properties on Beacon
Right.
Hill. I mean, on Beacon Street, because
Right.
pretty much these premier streets in the Back Bay, Newbury, Marlborough, Com Ave even, and Beacon are your 4 hotbeds from Arlington to Gloucester or Hereford. And so that's the diamond of the Back Bay. And those are all pretty much the same, depending on the block. You might pay a little more the further east you go. So the streets near Arlington, Berkeley, Clarendon, those might fetch a bit higher price than further west.
I was reading an article on some of the rental property
That's
just
a
in
lie.
this area.
reading.
Someone was reading.
Someone
an
told him
article.
about an article that.
But they were talking about some of the penthouse apartments that overlook Boston Common with crazy rental rates, like $40,000 a month. You know, and that's an awful lot of money for a rental.
Yeah, that figure might be a bit inflated. I mean, I've seen some for $20,000 to $25,000 a month. We don't really do a lot of rental property transactions. There are some beautiful for sale condominiums in that area, and the pricing for those, anywhere from $900,000 up to $1.3 million, overlooking that area for.
I have a question though, really good one.
Well, I had a
With
question
all these
too.
things being luxury and obviously they're expensive and people buy them, what's the turnover rate? How often are people moving in and out of Back Bay area or these hot spots all through Boston?
So I would say the absorption rate for condos or
I
in
know-
Back Bay or all in
That's
all
why
of Boston.
That's why they're building so many more of these condos, because I would assume once you buy one, it's not like it's, hey, I'm turning to flip this. It's already luxury, so you're usually keeping it in the family, passing it
That's
down.
right. It's
Well,
not like you
yeah.
get a lot of steals in the Back Bay and you fix them up and you flip them.
Right.
But the market's changed even over the last 3 years. So the Back Bay is kind of people consider it to be more transient because it's one of the more well-known neighborhoods of Boston. So you have a lot of international buyers coming, and sometimes they keep them and sometimes they don't. And oftentimes they keep them as investments. And I'm sure you guys have heard lately there's just been an influx of Chinese buyers who buy them as long-term investments. They hold them
Right.
for a long time, and they either hold them or they rent them until their children go to college here, and then their children live there, or they sell them or they continue to rent them. So there's not a lot of turnover in the Back Bay, but it doesn't necessarily mean that those condos are owner-occupied.
The other thing is that the Back Bay, I mean, obviously, since there's not a ton of turnover, it's driving traffic to other areas that historically weren't as popular. Like, for instance, the condo sales market in Chinatown is up 60% this year over last year. And neighborhoods like East Boston that normally would historically not be considered a very Tony address are becoming desirable for people to go and purchase a condominium there because they're priced out of the Back Bay or Beacon Hill, South End.
Well, in Boston, you have a problem in Boston that you don't necessarily have in other cosmopolitan areas, which is the need to preserve the aesthetic of Boston. So in most of the areas, you can't build over 10 stories, which is causing a lot of problems and actually is now getting a lot of backlash from residents. Because, for instance, there's a building at 1350 Boylston. People want to build a tower there, a lot of people, that's a high-rise and that's going to allow for a lot more condos and get some more inventory to drive prices down a little bit. But there's a lot, the permitting is a nightmare, really for anywhere in Boston, because you're really limited height-wise. So we can't fill Boston with high-rises.
Right.
So the inventory always stays low, which means prices stay high.
So you originally were saying that the Back Bay area you could find apartments or condominiums for anywhere from $900,000 up.
Yes.
What would $900,000 buy you in the area?
Nothing.
900 square feet.
900 square feet. Seriously.
Yeah.
So that would be like a one-bedroom?
2-bedroom, maybe a living dining combo and a galley kitchen. You know.
In 900 square feet, they can fit all that? Nice.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be like a standard size
Yeah.
apartment, I would say.
Yeah, it's about 1,000 to 1,100 a square foot to purchase a condo in this area.
So what is the popular price range in the area?
Well,
Is there a popular price
Back
range?
Bay average price $1,595,000. Beacon Hill the average price is $2,100,000. Charlestown $630,000. So it differs neighborhood to
So if
neighborhood.
you're in the downtown area, to find a $900,000 condominium is very slim chances.
Oh, yeah. It would go in a second.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they go quickly.
So there's not as many as there are in the millions.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, they're out there. They go quickly, but they're there.
But
know.
I would
the-
assume
some
if
of
you
the
could
newer
afford
projects, though-
900, you could rock 1.5, no problem.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's-
true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably not. You're not really going in and going, hey, I only got 900, so don't go over that. You're probably like, 900? Where do I write the check?
Yeah.
And then I'll rent that out for 30
That's right.
years so my kids have college paid for too. That's
So
what I would
someone
assume.
doesn't want to spend that kind of money, but they want to be close to the city. What
Try
other
Plymouth.
areas? Yeah.
Then we tell them to just
Yeah,
go
try
there.
Springfield.
Attleboro,
Hey,
Mass.
try Springfield. You could get luxury for $250.
No, but I'm saying that
We actually have a lot of people that are empty nesters that would love to be in Boston. If they're priced out of the area, they just go slightly out. Like, for instance, Brookline. We have 2 luxury condominium developments in Brookline that we're marketing currently, and the majority of the buyers are empty nesters that want to be able to jump on the T and get into Boston, but, they might not be able to afford. So for the same amount of money, we closed a penthouse unit in Brookline for $1,338,000. And that penthouse is beautiful, 1,800, 95 square feet. The same thing here would be very, much more money. So they're still close by.
But basically, they got more for their money in Brookline
Right.
than they did than they would have in Boston.
Yeah. The main factor that we find the luxury buyers are looking for are not only the upscale finishes, but the walkability factor and the proximity to Boston. We even have a luxury colonial on the market in Wayland, Massachusetts. We did an open house last week, and one of the questions out of every single buyer's mouth was, where is the closest commuter rail so they can jump into Boston? So everybody wants to be able to be near the transit system and be able to get into Boston if they can't afford to live in Boston, or they're at a period in their life where it's just not feasible to live in a condo.
So in Boston, you're saying the attraction is all the attractions,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, the theaters, the museums, the restaurants,
And the walkability.
I would say walkability is
Yes.
Walkability and
primarily
the transportation.
Most of it, yeah. 'Cause
Exactly.
I mean, you
don't
have the public transportation. And now I think with all of these new car services, it makes it so much easier that someone doesn't really have to own a car
Oh
if
yes,
they live in
yeah.
the city.
yeah.
And Boston is extremely small. You can get anywhere you need to go
Right.
once you're
It's a
downtown.
very, very walkable city.
Very.
So now, if you don't have to buy a car. Now you don't have to pay car insurance. You don't have to pay the excise tax. You don't have a car payment. So now you can afford $1 million.
You always
So your car payment now goes toward your condo fee.
That's right.
Which is usually the same
same
amount.
amount of money.
Yeah.
But you should always have a car.
But now, what if
What happens
someone
if
does
something
have
happens?
a
How
car?
are you going to get away?
A lot of parking is a premium in Boston. You know, the parking spaces, you know, they sell them anywhere from $60,000 up to $250,000 per parking space. If you're just purchasing one, but if you're purchasing a condominium, usually in a newer building, they will have parking that comes with your unit, deeded parking.
What do you think about that new app that wanted to come to Boston that's trying to release about where people can rent out their own parking spaces? Do you think that...
I think that's going to be a lot of trouble. I just think that
A lot
until
of fights.
I think there's going to be a lot of keyed cars. I
Yeah.
think,
Well, there's already people doing that what do they call it? The beach chair thing, you know? They
well,
put
that's
the-
in Southie. I mean, and you know what? I'd be mad too if I shoveled out.
Yeah, right.
My
That's
spot
in the
and-
snow.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just saying that people are already doing
You live in Marshfield.
People already
a
That's
lot
right,
of room to
yeah,
park
yeah.
in Marshfield.
Hey,
Right.
well, that's why we moved to Marshfield.
Okay.
I mean, I'm personally,
But if someone wants
I wouldn't live
but
in
if
the
you
city
want to
anymore.
live in Boston, you buy a minivan and you buy a parking space.
Yeah.
And now you're only spending
Yeah.
$250,000 and you got a nice little...
look at Rick.
Oh yeah, you live
thinking.
in the minivan.
Right.
Rick's thinking, you know, living in the minivan down by the back bay.
That's right.
Honey, come check out my place. It's luxurious. It's 20 square feet. No, I would say that, no, I like all the back bay as well. I think that walkability is huge, but I think a lot of people, it's very crowded at some point with the parking, and traffic is outrageous. And if you don't have patience, man, this could be a really tricky place to live.
Yeah, but that's why I think most people that do want to live in the city do not own a vehicle, because you walk everywhere
Yeah.
and you take public transportation
Funny
or
thing I
you
was thinking
take a
as we
car
were-
service.
As we were talking about, because Rick and I both live in the suburbs, I was just thinking about this the other day, is in the city when you walk or ride a bike, you look at the people in cars like they're crazy and they're losers. Exact opposite you go in the suburbs. Someone's walking somewhere, you're like, look at that clown. You're like, you have no idea. They could be just trying to get in shape, but it's just the way you look at
Dude,
them.
they're riding a bike.
Yeah, you're like, you're
What's
riding
that
a
for?
bike? I mean, come on. But you
It's
go
a
into this...
different mindset. I mean,
It
when
is.
people are buying in Boston, they're used to city living.
Mm-hmm.
And even people who come from out of town, there's a lot of New York buyers,
Right.
there's a lot of international buyers, buyers that are used to smaller spaces. So for them, this is actually a lot of room. They
Yeah.
get a bigger apartment. They even have the possibility of having a parking space,
Mm-hmm.
which is completely
Or
unheard of.
full
Right.
service building. If they buy there's a valet, so
Yeah.
they just pull right up, walk
It's just a
out.
different
Yeah.
headspace.
The concierge and
I
the
know.
valet take their groceries in.
Oh, you don't have to sell me in Boston. It's my favorite of all of them. I mean, I've lived
It's
in
a
quite a
good
few
town.
cities. And it's,
We want to talk a little bit with Susan and Lauren and Jenna about some of the listings that you have in the area that maybe some of our listeners can afford.
especially our international listeners. Shout out Italy.
That's right.
Okay, well, we actually have a number of listings that are on the market right now. We have a beautiful penthouse condominium in Brookline on Hammond Pond Parkway, which is very close to the street, which is a new outdoor dining, shopping destination area. That condominium is absolutely gorgeous, stunning. 750 square feet of outdoor space. So in addition to 1,600 square feet inside, 2 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, wide open, 10-foot ceilings, beautiful. You have a huge wraparound deck, which is unusual to get. And so that condo is on the market for $1,250,000. That comes with 2 parking garage spaces and storage.
Will they take 700?
No, they will not. But you might have a chance with the unit downstairs on the first floor. We have a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo, 1,336 square feet on the market for $845,000 with
Getting closer.
one parking space. We also have a
For his van.
1989 minivan Honda Odyssey with
Well,
a,
you know,
with a dorm fridge.
but I'd like to mention that in that area, there's also now a new Wegmans.
That's
Absolutely.
down the
correct.
street.
Wow.
Which
And is that an amenity?
We're
Yes,
blocks
it
from that.
is.
Is it really? Wow.
If you've been to Wegmans, you'd
See, I
it.
never
It's
have.
a-
I
I'm
thought
having
a
a
grocery store
flashback
was
of
a
talking
grocery
about
store.
Wegmans before. He loves Wegmans.
He does.
I do
He's
like
rocks
Wegmans.
Wegmans
Wegmans.
is
He does.
truly wonderful.
He's
See?
a,
Even Lauren agrees.
Yeah.
He's a
Yeah.
spokesperson though, an unpaid
Yeah.
one, but he does bring it up at least twice a week on the show.
So those two condominiums are the last two brand newly constructed condominiums at a complex called Hammond Pond Place, and it's gorgeous.
And that was what you came on the first time to talk about, if I'm correct,
Yes,
right?
and that was less than a year ago. Now we
Right.
have a full community of ecstatic residents that live there.
So the streets pretty much allows that development almost to be like live, work, play.
And-
Oh, we
as
sold
you can-
75% of that development off.
Emergency,
Blueprint.
emergency.
And as you can hear in the background, that's one of the advantages of being
Living in the city,
Boston.
yeah.
Is that it's very safe. Lauren can tell you about the Parkway at Chestnut Hill, which is another of our luxury condo
Right.
development listings.
That's actually right across the street from Hammond Pond Place.
Mm-hmm.
That development was finished in 2008. They're very nice units, very high-end finishes. They were built as condos. They have custom kitchens, hardwood floors, very high ceilings. We have 2 condominiums on the market and 2 giant townhouses that each have their own elevator. So those are pretty special units.
Is the townhouse has an elevator?
Yes, each of the townhouses have their own elevators. So there's
How many
3
floors?
stories of
3
living.
stories.
3, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
3 stories of
You
living.
need an elevator with 3 floors?
You don't, actually.
But what
it's
if
nice
it's
to have.
Yes, the elderly could use
That's
it instead
right.
of those like chairs that cling to the stairs.
That's right.
Rick,
And if you,
you're going to be there soon, buddy.
Chairs that cling to the
that's
stairs.
that's
Yeah.
very true, Eric. Which are unsightly,
Right, well,
and take up a
yes.
lot of room.
Exactly. So now, if only one
they
person
don't go
needs
fast
it,
enough.
They
can
don't
take
go
it over.
fast. That's
or
right.
they buy
I mean-
at one level.
Which
But
we
But
have.
here's the thing.
That's
Yeah,
correct.
So,
We also have one level living for people that
yeah.
Prefer that.
prefer that.
But for more of a single family feel in Brookline, which,
Mm-hmm.
by the way, there is no inventory in Brookline, 0,
Other than what you guys have.
other than what we have.
Perfect.
It's a
Niche
very
market.
nice option.
Nice.
Great location, great schools.
Is that the reason there's no inventory in that market?
Because of the
Because the great schools and the...
Yeah, right.
yeah, because Brookline is really, I'm biased because I've been trying to move into Brookline now for about a year. The best of both worlds if you want to stay close to Boston.
I'm going to be honest. You probably have a better shot since you know what's opening up, than buying houses there. So a year's a long time to be waiting.
I know. I'm clearly doing something wrong.
Do you need a new broker?
I need a new realtor. Yeah, exactly. I have not tapped Jenna yet for this. Jenna, let's talk.
So Brooklyn, we've mentioned both Brookline places. Is there anything else?
Yes, we actually have a property we just listed in Newton for our contractor clients. We have some people that are interested in buying things, fixing them up, or tearing them down and building a new home.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got that coming on tomorrow, I believe.
Yes.
17 Barbara
Okay.
Road.
That should be big too. With everybody trying to, a lot of businesses have been moving out that way as well. To that 95, like Waltham, Wellesley, Newton, Needham. That's really taken a lot of construction, as Rick and I have covered for the last.
Yeah, a lot of
3
people,
months.
a lot of companies are moving towards the Marlboro,
Right.
Framingham,
Trying
that
to
area.
get those
Yeah.
Discounts out there, I guess.
And then
But
Jenna
that's
has
cool.
can tell you about our Wayland listing.
Yes, we have a property out in Wayland on over an acre of land, which is great, especially for people that are used to living in a condo or just want a little bit more. Wayland has an excellent school system, very similar to Brookline. So it's a 4-bedroom home, beautiful, beautiful colonial. It almost looks like it's never been lived in before. And
Nice.
it's just a nice change up if you don't want to be living in the city, or I mean, it still has great access to the city with the commuter rail. Yeah, and so that just came on about
That
a
came
week
on
ago.
last week for $1,099,000. The owner moved to Germany a few years ago for his job. It was supposed to be like a 2 or 3 year assignment. He loved it. Moved there, bought a house with his children. They're in the school district, and so now this home is ready to go.
Nice.
So how old a home is it?
It was actually built in 1998.
Was it?
Yes,
Can you
I
believe
know.
that?
Can you believe
Wow.
Lauren saw it for the first time last week, and her reaction is because it literally looks like brand
that? It
new
looks
construction,
brand new. It's absolutely stunning.
and it's ready for immediate occupancy.
Is there a way to see pictures on your website or anything like that?
Oh
Yes.
we have
Right.
all of the pictures on our website.
So everyone
and
go to
actually, it has
PLBoston.com?
well, you know,
Not
we
yet.
sell luxury real estate.
Not yet.
So all of our websites have their own property-specific
Oh,
websites.
nice.
So you could go to 2sandyhillroad.com to see pictures of that.
So sandyhillroad.com. The www is... Oh, 2.
Yeah, that might be
2
crucial.
sandyhill.com,
www,
yeah.
not so much, but maybe the
But
2.
I bet you if you typed in sandyhill.com, Google would pull up 2.
Or you could go to
Oh, really?
www.theparkway@chestnuthill.com.
Okay.
And what's HPP?
HammondPondCondos.com.
Okay, there you go.
There we go.
We didn't need the
We learned
www. Everybody knows the World Wide Web.
Yes,
That's
that's
how
true.
That's how we get there.
That's true. A little unnecessary.
You know what, though,
I
Eric?
love it.
We're so thorough and detailed. We
are.
figure every once in a while we get a client that might be
Yeah.
on the,
I
you
get
know,
you.
dinosaur elderly side, like myself, not technologically savvy. I need to hear the www.
That's true.
I get
We have it
confused.
every week at our show. Someone always mentions it, and we always go home driving. It's one of our
It's part of the benefits
our
of
labs.
hiring a team is that you get that
right.
that level of thoroughness and consistency.
I agree.
That's a nice plug for the
Thank
team.
you.
It is.
Thanks.
I like that. You worked out a nice.
Was it
Thank
easy
you.
for you guys to? I mean, were you all individual realtors before you became this team, and was
Yes.
it easy for you guys to convince each other to become a team?
No.
No.
So it was easy for me to wrap my head around the idea of working with Susan because I had known her for a long time and I had always really respected her. She's an amazing agent. So when she approached me with that option and that possibility, I was really excited. But I had just moved to a small luxury firm on Clarendon Street that I really liked a lot, and it was just bad timing. So she waited. She was patient, which I appreciated. And about 5 months later, I joined her.
So let me ask you. Well, I know one of the reasons
Spit
is
it out.
commission. One of the reasons is commission. But what makes you want to be in luxury residential
Commission.
market?
Commission.
That's strictly the reason.
Yeah.
There's no other because that you'd rather deal with that type of a client or
What do you mean that type?
that type of a client that can afford that type of a property.
Well,
I feel a dangerous,
I feel-
slippery
Yeah,
slope
well,
coming on.
You know,
Well, you know
I
what?
don't.
The
I
funny
don't
thing
walk on
about
a fine
it
line. You
is
know,
people
so-
think they have a common misperception that wealthy individuals have a devil may care attitude. Like you were saying, Eric, if I could afford $900, frig it, I'll write for $1.5 million. That's not correct.
Right.
These people did not get wealthy by being careless with their money. So number one, it's nice to work with the clientele that's intelligent. They always have something interesting to talk about. They're great to work with because usually they're technologically savvy, and we do everything electronically. We don't do paper contracts anymore. Everything's done, electronically.
In the cloud.
In the cloud.
Nice.
They also appreciate working with us because as a team, we operate a lot different than other real estate teams. That's becoming a big concept in the industry, the real estate team. We all eat from the same plate. Okay, so
That is unique
that
in
is
terms
very
of teams.
unique in terms of a team.
We're all
every
vested
commission
in
that
every
comes in, whether
deal.
I bring in a deal, Lauren brings in a deal, Jenna brings in a deal, whether one of us doesn't even see the property before it closes, all three of us split everything, and that's nice because that makes the client feel that they don't sense that underlying, oh my gosh, I can't take a day off because a buyer might walk in that I've worked with a few times and then Susan's going to sell it instead of me. Do you know what I mean? It kind of does away with that mentality. So
I do like that idea
Me too.
it's a great idea.
because I know
It's very
when
collaborative.
you're trying to sell a home or even to buy a home, you feel comfortable that you're working with someone that you're from that company.
Right.
That's right.
Because
We all
I've
know
been
all the
sent to,
details.
I've been working with a broker and they're not around and they say, oh, just go and the selling broker is there.
Right.
Yeah, we don't.
No, we don't do that.
Yeah.
We take a lot of pride in our relationships with our clients, and each one of the three of us will have a relationship with that client, so they'll feel equally comfortable calling any of us, which is nice for them. And I think that people don't even think about that all the time when they hire an individual broker as opposed to a team. So we've found that clients that we work with end up really appreciating it at the end of the transaction.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, now the big question is, when is the reality show going to come on?
We are
Or
working on that.
PLBoston. They have all these reality shows, especially in New York.
Well, I
with
know
the
that you were
high-end.
disappointed when I thwarted your idea of hiring me to come on and to discuss a behind the scenes and offered to
And-
mask my voice into a Darth Vader voice so that I wouldn't lose all of my clients.
That's right.
But we're not ready to name names just yet. But there is a behind the scenes look coming soon.
I'll be the shirtless delivery man. No. No? I'll do the FedEx stuff. I'll be like, hey, ladies, PL Boston, got your stuff here.
We can work with that, Eric.
Yeah, right.
We can work with that.
We can work you right into the show.
Hit.
Yeah.
It works on the beaches, I know. I carry it around.
It doesn't surprise me.
He walks around like that all day long.
We'll keep him in the Springfield listings.
Nice. Oh, I'd clean up. Those are my people, the down-to-earthers.
Well, you
Financially.
That's another common misconception.
I'm joking. I was going to say financially
but I think
down-to-earthers.
that it's wealthy people are changing the way they think as well. Mm-hmm. But I think that there's more and more wealthy people out there than there were probably 30 years ago.
Right.
People.
I wonder if that's because there's more people than there was 30 years ago.
Well, no, I think it's because
that
the middle class is shrinking and more people are going towards the wealthy.
Well, actually, that brings up a good point. The majority of our buyers, especially our international buyers, are cash buyers, which makes it easy because you take that whole lending atmosphere out of the transaction. Right. You don't have to worry about things such as appraisals, especially where the market's hot and sometimes there are bidding wars.
Right.
Or getting money
and
out
I'm
of
sure that's why
markets.
working with luxury is probably another benefit. You don't have to worry about so much about credit checks or lending and mortgage brokers and things like that.
The clients and the transactions, you have easy clients and difficult clients in every price point. You have easy transactions and difficult transactions. But real estate, like anything, you have to value your time.
Right.
And if you're spending the same amount of time on a $250,000 deal that you are on a $1,250,000 deal, you just try to market towards the deal that's going to bring you the biggest bang for your buck.
Well, I want to thank you for having us at your office.
Yeah.
First off,
beautiful office.
Isn't it beautiful?
Very straight.
Remax Leading Edge.
And I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you, guys.
If you want to tell our listeners how they can get a hold of you.
Well, your listeners can either reach us on our website at PLBoston.com, P as in Parasini, or L as in Larson, PLBoston.com, info at PLBoston.com, or they can call us at 781-475-2475.
Okay.
That's great. And we'll be right back on Money Matters Radio Network.
Rick Kaplan and Eric Wilson, right here on the Money Matters Radio Network and online at moneymattersboston.com. New England Real Estate Journal Radio.
And we're back on New England Real Estate Journal Radio. I'm Rick Kaplan with Eric Wilson, and we're coming to a close of another show, Eric.
Yeah, what a great show you said, huh?
And it was a great show.
Learning about things that we can't afford. I love those shows.
We always
so
talk
good.
about that.
It made me feel so good.
I know. It's nice to know that there's some people out there that are making a nice living.
They're living the good life.
And they're living the good
life. They're living the dream. Well, we live the dream. We're a radio show, Rick. I mean, we have one of the better lives there is.
Is it a dream or is it a nightmare?
Nightmare for you, dream for me, right? Might just sit next to you. I mean, come on. I'm dreaming about that for years.
Well, we have to talk about our
upcoming events.
Oh my God!
See, it's an emergency announcement.
The city of Boston.
Emergency announcement.
The sirens.
Please, everyone, attend.
I thought they were doing that because of our upcoming event.
It was.
That was a lead-in.
It was to get everyone's attention.
But we have our event September 25th at the Providence Hilton. It's 6 to 9, cocktails and conversation networking event, and you can come there and you can meet some great people, all related to the commercial real estate industry.
Yeah, you get to meet City of Warwick as our platinum sponsor. Eldorado Stone, CBRE, Hayes and
Washington
Cherry. Washington Trust,
New England Food Restaurant Brokers,
and all the associations with ABC Rhode Island, IRM
Boston, Rhode Island,
down there as well. IRM Rhode Island,
CCIM. All of them.
So it's going to be a full-blown networking event. We're excited about it. We can't wait for Rhode Island to see what we've been doing in Boston, New Hampshire already. Looks like it's crazy stuff going on behind us.
Oh my God! There's all kinds of stuff going on outside here.
No one can see because it just looks like a white light behind us. There's actually humans moving out there in the light.
All kinds of police action.
But we also
they must have known we're here. Look at the crowds forming outside.
I know, right? Get the paparazzi out of here. I mean, I know we're famous. But
the USGBC?
The lead showcase is coming up September 30th. Should be a huge event. Make sure you get your tickets now. go to usgbcma.org, and we'll see you the 30th. Corey will be there as well doing his video interviews at that event as well. Should be another great event. And also, don't forget in October that the ABX is coming up. So,
and next week, IREM is having their
a golf tournament is Monday. So if you haven't got a chance to get out for your foursome, see if you can call IREMBoston.org and ask for Kelly Hannon. And we'll see you out there. I'll be volunteering. I believe I'm hole 8. I'll be handing water out to people. Throwing water balloons at some of the golfers. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you're gonna have to miss that hole because he's gonna be quite a distraction.
I will definitely be a distraction. I'm a distraction to everyone.
That's true.
Ladies' eyes and men's minds.
I don't know of any other events that are coming up in the next few weeks.
No, that's it. I know we have obviously in November there's some more too, but we have more radio shows.
And we are in the process of planning our November Cocktails and Conversation in Connecticut.
And don't forget to always watch us on YouTube at NEREJ Journal, and we'll have our 100th episode coming up in November.
That's right. Believe it.
100 shows on air. Amazing. You still have to read the intro.
That's right.
I have nothing. I wing the entire show, and we're still on the air. I don't know how, but thank you to our listeners. Shout out again.
And, we want to thank all our listeners who are all over the world.
Right. Italy, the Plymouth Correctional Facility. We have a huge following down there, guys. Thank you.
But we do. We have quite a few listeners.
I'm not lying.
And we have quite a few listeners in California and in Florida. It's amazing.
It is. Nobody in Boston, though. Be surprised.
Right.
They all know us.
Yeah.
So they're like, I hear from them every week. No, but we really do appreciate our listeners. And check out my article last week as I talk about
That's right. Podcasts.
Via podcast.
Very good article. Mentioned me quite a few times.
Rick gets a shout out, so he loves it. But thank you. That's it. Right?
And I think this deal is done.